2022 마마 어워즈 월드와이드 팬스 초이스.
Ugh, this isn't working. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way. When trying to describe an entire year based on the music that was released during it, it's both a tough and complex task to complete. Right off the bat, I want it to be known that I took major inspiration from the YouTube channel Mike the Snare to help me both format and understand the kind of video that I would be making today. He makes videos just like this, talking about music that defined entire decades, so I highly recommend checking out his channel after you finish this video. And I felt like I needed outside help because when trying to define the musical sound of a year in music, even when focused on one specific genre like K-pop, there's so many different things to consider when picking songs. I thought of mentioning tracks based on how many music show wins or other awards they garnered, the number of streams they have on Korean and international streaming platforms, or the amount of digital and physical sales each artist's comeback was able to obtain. However, while those factors will definitely be mentioned in this video when they feel relevant to the story that I'm trying to tell, I didn't want to base all of my commentary in this video on numbers and boring statistics alone. Instead, I thought it would make sense to focus my commentary around the songs I've chosen on the impact and the legacy they formed in the entertainment industry. I feel like even though there were hundreds of successful and profit-creating K-pop songs released in 2022, not all of them changed the industry in any way or are even gonna be remembered in 2, 5, 10, say even 20 years. Lots of debuts and comebacks came and went by without doing much to permanently ingrain themselves in the minds of K-pop fans and casual listeners alike. But some of them went that extra mile to stand out and make their mark in the year of 2022. Whether it's because they created/popularized a trend that others quickly followed, had insanely viral moments that people are still talking about today, or otherwise signified something important, these songs are the ones that I believe people are going to remember when they look back at the wild ride last year was. This video is going to be separated into different sections where in each I cover a different song that I believe defined 2022 and give my commentary on the influence it had. You can definitely skip through and watch the sections that interest you the most, but I really do recommend sticking around for the entire thing because I'll be referencing other songs in each section to help tie things together and give the full story of 2022. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's start by jumping into the month of January, specifically the day January 3rd. After all of the hype of Mnet's first try at reviving the Produce Survival Show series, it felt right for Kep1er, the group formed from Girls' Planet 999, to kick off the new year with their debut song Wadada. But focusing on its fast-paced rap verses, along with unexpected changes in tone from section to section, Wadada was not initially met with open arms. Initially, there was quite a bit of criticism surrounding the lyricism of the track, since onomatopoeia was something that people have been wanting to leave behind in K-pop for years now. Many people online were quick to bash the song's chorus, especially for its vroom vroom vrooms and wadada wadadas, but this poor reception was actually only a temporary thing. Since hundreds of thousands of people were talking about wadada, it was able to reach a much wider audience, and as more people became introduced to the track, more began enjoying it. And the song was able to reach its peak position in Korean music charts over a month later during the second week of February. Now, I wouldn't really say that Kep1er started or popularized any trends within K-pop during 2022, being kind of girl crush, kind of teen crush. Wadada more follows older trends than anything, but it was still definitely a defining song of the year. Being a track that's both easy to listen to and fun, Wadada went viral on social media and became the focal point of both serious and silly dance covers around the world. And these helped promote the song to having a whopping 130 million streams on Spotify and 145 million on YouTube. For all of these reasons, Kep1er deserves their entry on this list, but interestingly enough, there's another song released on January 3rd that we're going to be talking about next. Coming out on the same day as Warada, Step Back, released by SM's rotating girl group Girls on Top, was also quite a defining song of 2022. This song was also supported by quite a bit of pre-release hype after SM Entertainment announced that they would be creating a quote-unquote supergroup out of members from their already existing girl groups. Because ever since the debut of Super M, who are composed of members from NCT, EXO, and SHINee, people have been begging for a girl group version of the same thing. And when it was revealed that not only popular idols such as Red Velvet Seulgi, Girls' Generation's Taeyeon, and Aespa's Karina would be participating in GOT's first subunit Got the Beat, but legendary soloist BoA would join as well, people went feral. So at the time of Step Back's release, when everybody's eyes were focused on them, opinions on the song were mixed, to say the least. Some people enjoyed the awe-inducing vocals and experimental instrumental, while others believed that Step Back was too chaotic and strange to be enjoyable. Personally, being a part of my Worst Songs of 2022 video, I did not particularly enjoy Step Back myself, but I can't deny how this song really did lay out the groundwork for a lot of different SM Entertainment releases this year. I say that despite being known for innovation and experimentation within the K-pop scene, this year was a truly notable one for SM with their unapologetically unique instrumentals that drew both love and hate from millions of people worldwide. Tracks like Glitch Mode by NCT Dream, Girls by Aespa, Two Baddies by NCT 127, Birthday by Red Velvet, and more seem similar to Step Back due to their initially jarring instrumentals that grow and new as time goes by. Many of these tracks became sleeper hits within K-pop, earning more traction weeks after they first dropped, and I thought it would be worthwhile to mention that just like Step Back, all of these experimental tracks also incorporated dance breaks, which is not always the case with SM Entertainment acts. In my eyes, this is another way Got the Beat teased what was to come from other artists under their company. And the last thing I want to mention from Step Back era is that this winter fancam also went pretty viral. But anyways, let's move on. When it comes to viral moments that happened in K-pop this year, I don't know if any come to mind that are more iconic than Suki's viral fancam for her group Billie's song Ginga Minga Yo. Initially getting recognition when a fan account posted a clip of Suki's fancam from a music show stage, she was able to literally bring millions of people's attention to the group's song, just from the power of her stage presence alone. And I believe Ginga Minga Yo deserves its spot on this list because it's the biggest example of an underdog story that we got in K-pop this year. Because of Suki's virality, Billlie was able to make appearances on insanely prestigious variety shows like Running Man, both as a full group, and Suki alongside fellow member Moonswa also made individual appearances alongside Sakura and Chaewon from Lesserafim, as in former ITZY members who are more famous and popular than 95% of other 4th gen idols. That's a pretty big frickin' deal. Ginga Minga Yo is one of 2022's most defining songs because it was the most unexpected song that was able to keep people talking for months on end. And hopefully Billlie are able to replicate that success soon.
Yeah, I'm tomboy.
Next up, we have a double feature section of Tomboy and My Bag by I.Dle, and since both of these songs were released in the same album titled I Never Die, I thought I would move things along a little bit quicker and talk about them together since they kind of went viral for the same reasons. And that reason is that people weren't able to shut up about these songs even though they hated them. Tomboy and My Bag are the definition of divisive K-pop songs because the people who didn't like them were bothered by other people who did. Things like Soyeon's rap verse in Tomboy or the choreography for My Bag were all dragged through the mud for being awkward or corny. But at the same time, there were millions of people who loved these songs regardless, and catapulted I.Dle even further into fame than they already were. This conflict sparked thousands upon thousands of arguments / fan wars online, and each time people were unable to shut up about these songs, it only helped further cement them into the K-pop Hall of Fame. I Never Die was also a turning point in I.Dle's careers because it proved that despite losing former member Soojin, I.Dle isn't gonna fade away anytime soon, and once again proved their haters wrong. So whether you loved or hated these songs, they were truly a memorable and lasting memory of K-pop in 2022, and that's why they're in this video. One of the biggest trends that we saw K-pop groups big and small participate in this year was the usage of samples and interpolations from classical pieces of music. And the group that I would say popularized this in 2022 was none other than Red Velvet with their song Feel My Rhythm. Although other groups have obviously done this in the past, such as Cherry Bullet when they sampled for Elise for their song Hands Up, Red Velvet is the most notable recent example of a group who has found big success with this strategy. Sampling large amounts of the instrumental from Composer Box's piece titled Air, Feel My Rhythm was able to wow people worldwide with the elegant yet easy to the ear sound of the song. And for a moment, Red Velvet were able to put third gen groups back in the limelight. Despite not winning any music show awards, Feel My Rhythm still saw excellent results in the charts and online buzz departments, and inspired some other songs that we'll talk about in the near future. Being one of the few boy group songs that I thought was worthy of being put in this video, Maniac by Stray Kids is undoubtedly one of the most iconic boy group songs to be released this decade. The industrial sounds and extensive rap verses incorporated into the song aren't anything we haven't seen in K-pop before, but Stray Kids are undeniably both pioneers and popularizers of this sort of sound from 4th gen boy groups that many have failed to replicate as effectively or cleanly. The focus on members like Felix or Hyunjin's deeper voices in the chorus is also a product of the group's earlier work God's Menu, which demonstrated that bass and baritone vocals have a place in the K-pop scene, not just as background vocals, but as the main focus. I would also say that because of Stray Kids' success, we've also seen other K-pop companies debut boy group members with similar sounding voices. But honestly, that's kind of just a theory. Anyway, Maniac is in the list not only because it's the group's best charting single to date, or because it went viral to the point of reaching millions and millions of streams, but also because it serves as a reference point to the sound of dozens of active boy groups today. Also, if you haven't noticed, we're covering songs in chronological order, and now that we've finished with the month of March, let's dive right into April. If you asked me what I think the defining K-pop song of 2022 is, I would probably have to go with IVE's Love Dive. Pretty undeniably pioneering the 2010 sounding pop sound in K-pop to rival the Y2K trend going around this year, Love Dive wowed people with its understated and chic sort of vibe similar to the sound of artists like Selena Gomez or Taylor Swift in a couple of her eras. Love Dive embodies the idea of less is more, and leaves listeners satisfied but still wanting to listen again, which not only helped the song become one of the most streamed of the year, but also helped IVE earn the Song of the Year award at Mama 2022. I could name so many other achievements that Love Dive got, but if we named every single one of them, we would literally be here all day. But still, I don't want to downplay that this really was the song of 2022, and there's little to no competition. But that's just about all I have to say, so now let's go on.
I see you looking at my PIC.
Out of all of the K-pop soloists in existence, I don't think any of them have been able to keep the attention of people outside of Korea the way Jessie has. And even though this was true before, her 2022 comeback song Zoom just further proved this point. Being one of the most simplistic songs released this year, both in terms of instrumental and lyricism, Zoom got stuck in the heads of everyone who was exposed to it, and that includes the millions of people who heard it through TikTok, since Zoom is one of, if not the most viral K-pop song of the year on there. These videos got millions and millions of views because for whatever reason, even non-K-pop fans just love Jessie, giving her yet another viral hit, which I wouldn't be surprised to see her do again this year. Lesserafim was one of those groups that I think everybody just knew were going to be big from the day they were announced. Being the first girl group to debut under HYBE, literally ever, if you don't count back when they were still big hit, Lesserafim had this unmatched level of pre-debut hype that seemed impossible to stop. People tried to stop it, of course, but when Fearless first dropped, it was an instant smash hit and climbed the charts more and more as time went on. Fearless is another example of that chic 2010 sound in K-pop. A lot of people might confuse this for a Y2K inspired song, which I can definitely understand, but I personally disagree with those people. So because of songs like Love Dive and Fearless, I can definitely see more 2010 sounding K-pop songs popping up in 2023. But for now, we'll have to wait. Fearless is already one of the most memorable and iconic debuts of the entire 4th gen, and one of the most defining songs of 2022. Moving on to another hype group, the second of 3 boy groups in this video is 17 with their song Hot, which is one of those songs released this year that I feel was pretty unaffected by K-pop's popular trends that were going around. Not explicitly conforming to the Y2K, 2010s, pop rock, or experimental sounds that everyone else was doing, 17's most successful comeback of 2022 went with a Wild West concept and sound that stood out from the crowd. Being pretty unique sounding, people's eyes were fixed on 17 when they released this, and many were once again reminded of the group's stellar performance skills and ability to create, for lack of a better term, a catchy bop, with the help of producing and songwriting member Woozi. Unlike most other boy group songs released this year, 17's Hot was able to reach an audience outside of their core fandom, even though they didn't latch onto any of K-pop's massive trends, and because of that, they earned their spot in this video. To be honest, just the fact that a TWICE member finally released a solo album would have made me want to include the song, but Pop by Nayeon was monumental in different ways too, which make it so I doubt many people would question why I put it here. See, when most other popular songs and big artists were trying to do something unique and innovative or followed current music trends, Pop brought K-pop back to its roots with an over-the-top fun concept on a bombastic sound accompanied by horns, claps, and bass that felt both classic and fresh at the same time. When many more veteran K-pop fans were complaining that the genre has changed too much over the years, Pop was able to give them something to genuinely just enjoy, and because of this, we saw the song perform exceptionally well, even snagging a triple crown on Inkigayo, the most prestigious music show in K-pop. Pop reminded and proved to us all why K-pop gained so much popularity back in the day, and let everyone know that classic K-pop sounds still have a place in the industry now. Joining the fight for Rookie of the Year and shaking up the entire industry with their debut, we have NewJeans, who popularized the R&B-influenced Y2K trend as we know it today. NewJeans' debut consisted of 4 singles released over a week and a half, but the 2 that we'll be focusing on today are the ones that people are going to remember in 5 years. Attention and Hype Boy, the most successful ones out of the 4. These 2 have basically become the face of the Y2K genre in K-pop, and for good reason considering how they seem to capture the soul of songs like Fergie's Glamorous really well, while at the same time adding a distinctly K-pop flair. Despite debuting with little to no prior teasers or promotions, NewJeans were able to capture the hearts of fans worldwide based on their good music and natural charisma, and alongside Lesserafim helped further push hype labels as a leading force in the girl group industry. From the dozens of idols who covered Hype Boy to the millions of people who are streaming their songs every day, it seems like people either love NewJeans or want to be them, leaving this group as the most prominent rookie who debuted in 2022. Another pretty common trend that we saw occur a few times this year was the revival of popular second-gen groups, with the most obvious example of this being Girls' Generation, who released their comeback Forever One for their 15th anniversary. Though I wouldn't really say SNSD kickstarted this trend because the other second-gen groups who returned in 2022 also did it for their debut anniversaries, such as EXID for their 10th and Kara for their 15th. Girls' Generation still helped 2022 turn into this year of second-gen celebration that went hand in hand with 4th-gen success. I doubt there would even be half as much talk about how much love second gen has gotten this year if Forever One never came out. And I feel like for newer K-pop stans such as myself, this era demonstrated how much universal support SNSD has behind them. Forever One didn't break any boundaries music or lyric wise. Being coined as a fan song, Forever One does follow a pretty stereotypical sound that tries to amp up the nostalgia factor, but it's not horrible and I understand why so many love it so much. No matter what though, 2022 will be remembered as the year where Girls' Generation returned, and because of this, the group did help define the year. Another one that no one will question why it's included, next up we have Pink Venom by living legend girl group Blackpink, the group's first comeback in around 2 years. Obviously, with Blackpink being the most popular girl group in the world, people were going feral for their next new release, and in typical Blackpink fashion, they brought both the fans and the haters into the mix with Pink Venom. Sticking with their usual girl crush concept, they were actually able to switch things up a bit this time by adding some pizzazz into the song. While other groups were sampling classical music, Pink Venom did something different by interpolating American pop star Rihanna's debut single Pon de Replay, which I guess you could argue is classic music too, but that's another story. Pink Venom also broke away from the quote-unquote Teddy formula by having a chorus that focused more on the lyrics instead of a beat drop, turning the heads of people who thought their music was getting predictable. Though some might be mad at me for praising them, nothing Blackpink releases will ever be anything besides memorable and game-changing, and this August single was no different. IVE's third single and second comeback of 2022, titled Afterlike, is another song that I couldn't leave out because of how much impact it had on the world. In a similar way to Pink Venom, Afterlike sampled a pop song rather than a classical piece, and this time the pop song in question was I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. Putting a 2010 spin on a 70s classic, Afterlike included iconic lines such as Gallo's pre-chorus that went absolutely viral, and other moments that overall made the track a loopable and easy to latch onto bop. And this light on the ears sound made Afterlike perform just as well as Love Dive, which is crazy because Love Dive literally won Song of the Year. IVE's first 3 singles have performed better than almost, if not every other K-pop group's first releases, and the group shows no sign of falling off anytime soon.
Pull up, you know it's a shutdown.
Continuing with the trend of classical samples and the return of Blackpink in 2022, we have their comeback song Shutdown that was released with their latest album Born Pink. Fusing the genres of hip-hop, girl crush, and orchestral, Shutdown put an instantly recognizable Blackpink style twist on a trend that people thought would stay with genres similar to Feel My Rhythm. The confident rap verses, fun melody, and iconic choreography was something that many people, including myself, were able to latch onto immediately, and I actually put Shutdown as number 1 in my best K-pop songs of 2022 video. This song was able to reintroduce K-pop fans to the idea that classical samples don't have to be used in elegant sounding music, and finally satisfied Blinks who waited actual years for new OT4 music. Another song that put a unique twist on classic sampling is I.DLE's October comeback Nude, which uses a melody from La Campanella in both the instrumental and lyrics. With the music video referencing the works of actress Marilyn Monroe and street artist Banksy, Nude got recognition and respect for spreading a message that fought sexism and the objectification of women. Utilizing one of the most popular music trends of the year helped make this feminist piece of art seem more sophisticated and modern, which only made more people agree with I.DLE's artistry and Nude to an even higher degree. Overall, for both the music aspect and the message, Nude remains as one of my favorite songs of the year and was an excellent follow-up to the gender norm challenging song that Tomboy was back in March. Contrary to a lot of other entries in this video, one song that I believe was pretty unanimously loved from the get-go was Lesserafim's Anti-Fragile. One of K-pop's first tracks inspired by the reggaeton genre, Anti-Fragile took the world by storm with its addicting post-chorus hook and impressive vocal performance from the members. Anti-Fragile was able to make it into the hearts of fans and non-fans alike due to the quality of the song and music video, making more people want to play it over and over again. Not really following any trends of 2022, as one of the most popular songs of the year, I could very easily see more reggaeton-inspired tracks in 2023 after other companies saw how successful this genre could be within K-pop. Rather than following, Lesserafim continue to create new trends, and I hope they continue this pattern in 2023. The final song in this video, and the only December entry I decided to include, we have NCT Dream's winter comeback Candy, which is a recreation of veteran SM entertainment group H.O.T's iconic song of the same name. Candy is in this video because in a year where boy groups were unable to chart well compared to the girl groups who dominated, NCT Dream was able to break this curse with Candy. Though their previous 2 songs, Glitch Mode and Beatbox, charted well compared to other boy groups, Candy was able to match and beat out the performance of popular girl groups, even hitting number 1 on the Melon Real-Time chart, which is the most popular Korean music streaming platform. Being a literal remake, Candy didn't do anything new musically, but instead serves as a good omen for the future of boy groups in the industry. Though many of us, myself included, thought K-pop was moving into an era where boy groups would almost entirely fade into the background, NCT Dream's stellar digital performance alongside other major events such as the upcoming airing of Boys Planet are signs that the tides may turn in the near future, but I could be wrong, who knows. No matter what though, Candy was able to shine in a year where boy groups were rarely able to do so, and because of that I wanted to give it some more time in the spotlight. All in all, 2022 was a year of a select few trends that many songs did follow, but many others decided not to. Many of this year's trends are actually more seen in fashion, such as the big fluffy hats that we saw everyone wearing, and musically, it's definitely hard to figure out every single thing that influenced the year. But if I had to pick one trend that I think could define this year as a whole, I think I would have to go with Y2K. I mean, alongside newjeans, we saw other artists like S do similar concepts, and the pop rock trend that we saw is also heavily Y2K inspired as well, so yeah, I'd go with that. To end off this video, I want to ask you all to comment down below what your favorite trend of the year was, and also choose one song I didn't put in the video that you think could have / should have made the cut. Before we go, I'd like to thank all of our channel members whose names you can see on the screen right now, and without further ado, I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.